So growth and development, let's start with the upper lip. That attachment, if the child does not have that released, and let's say that they were able to, to feed some way, maybe they had challenges with feeding, maybe they were able to get some good feeding in. But as the teeth come in, if that's a really thick muscle attachment, one of the things that can be noted is that there will be a space or a gap between the front teeth because of how thick that muscle attachment is, and the teeth kind of have to split the distance there. With the tongue, if the tongue is not released, this is one of the more important things, I think, with the growth and development of the child. Number one, as they begin to speak, a lot of the phonetic sounds that we make require the tongue to go into the roof of the mouth and make specific sounds. And if they can't get their tongue up there, guess what? They're gonna have some challenges making certain sounds as they're learning to speak and talk. Second thing that's really important is the tongue should be able to go and rest in the roof of the mouth. The tongue's a muscle, and so that helps with the upper arch to grow in more of a U shape. If, in fact, that is not allowed, a lot of times we see the growth and development do more of a narrowing. And so what that does is the upper jaw grows more narrow and more of a kind of like a V shape as compared to more of a wide U shape. It makes the roof of the mouth have a much more high arch palate. We see some challenges there. The third thing that's really important about the tongue is that if the tongue is tight, what we see is, in the research shows that these children, as they grow into kids and teenagers, they are at a much higher risk for developing sleep abnormalities. And it's simply because the tongue cannot go rest in the roof of the mouth. The tongue hangs back in the back of the throat, and it just makes a narrower opening. Whether you think that children that snore, it's cute, I hear people say, oh, it's cute, he snores a little bit, but it's cute. Well, it's not normal. Just like, adults that snore, there's a reason that they're doing that. It's really important from the growth and development that tongue is able to go where it wants to go and where it needs to go, so that the children are not at a higher risk for developing some type of a sleep disturbance, such as obstructive sleep apnea. Can't diagnose it in dentistry, but you can sure evaluate your patients for it, because this is our area that we work with. So in looking at patients who have the symptoms, lots of symptoms and visual signs that would go hand in hand with sleep apnea, obstructive sleep apnea, a lot of times I'm looking at the tongue position and their growth and development. A lot of them will correlate to not having, the ability for the tongue to rest in the roof of the mouth. Super important, not just from a breastfeeding standpoint, but really long-term growth and development. The other thing that I'll mention is that, orthodontically with the teeth position, we mentioned a little bit about a muscle attachment up here, but I think the orthodontists who are really understand this well will second that it can definitely have challenges with the way that the teeth come in and position themselves as well.